Welcome to Social Mansion, where popular social media influencers are invited to take part in a friendly competition, where only one can leave a winner. Clickbait Unfollowed is a Tubi original written and directed by Catherine Barrow and Melanie Scarfano, the latter of which was in Ready or Not, Here I Come. Oh yes, I had to make this dated reference once again. Some social media influencers, they're really popular on a social media site named Lookty. It's like if TikTok, Instagram, and a few others were Human Centipede together, and then they weren't allowed to use the name, so they came up with Lookty. Loop-de-loop. It's like Rey Mysterio saying, hooty hoo! That's a deep cut for any wrestling fans. Nevertheless, that was unmasked Rey Mysterio. That being said, Rey Mysterio nowhere near this. You have some people that have various personas, and are they real? Are they Memorex? How much of their real life is put into their online social media character? You have Peach, Roberto Kyle. You have Julie, who's a mother played by Jessica Stanley. She has a son, Parker, that she uses to gain a bunch of followers, basically make herself feel good and live out her dreams through her kid. And then you have some various other people, including Gaia. Yes, based on using, like earthly methods, shall we say, and being a bit of a fitness guru, and a few others. And yeah, you just have these people that gather at this house. For what reason? We find out why a little bit later on. And it turns out this competition turns deadly pretty goddamn quick, and they must solve this mystery before they are all fucking history. Clickbait, Unfollowed tales, woohoo! Okay, so yes, the theme of social media being an addiction and being a social media influencer and having to be on top of everything and just tailor make your goddamn persona to basically just be what people want to see. Like hide your true selves or enhance the good parts of yourself and hide the really bad shit. Yeah, there's an idea there. There's certainly an idea there. And the social media influenced idea of horror isn't the worst in the world. Influencer is pretty goddamn good. That's pretty goddamn on the nose, but it's on Shudder. You should check it out. And considering that Catherine and Melanie have acted in various movies and they obviously wanted to do something like this, okay, when it comes to Tubi originals, let's be perfectly honest. Good or even surprisingly great. You have ones that are kind of okay to eh. Then you have ones over here that are an entire subcategory, not even a third category, but like multiple categories of pretty bad to what the fuck were they actually thinking. And while that was a neat little idea, but the execution was terrible, and this is marketed as a comedy horror. I fail to see where the horror was, except for the fact that this thing was stretched out to 90 goddamn minutes and really only had enough material for 40, and the comedy didn't hit at all. Everybody seemed to be trying. Everybody seemed to be having fun. I have certainly seen worse movies, just on Tubi alone, but this was almost egregiously bland and very generic, and also, yes, low budget or not. If you can't do certain things and make them look halfway decent, especially now, don't goddamn do them. None of the death scenes are very good. Any attempt at adding drama to any of these characters doesn't really work. It's easy to spot the actual person that's going to be the full-on dick right off the bat among these influencers. And then it turns out that none of these characters really are very likable, even when they try to make one of them likable a little bit later on. And the whole mystery of the whole thing just adds another layer to the bullshit. I'm sorry, I didn't really enjoy this movie. Now, you could watch it, and your mileage may vary. I'm not saying that the people involved in this, behind the camera or in front of the camera, don't deserve to have other roles and grow their careers, but this was not good. This was not good at all. This was really... I think attempted to have a little bit of comedy like Ready or Not, but they forgot that Ready or Not had life and energy and enthusiasm. And even though I do remember Melanie in that, this wasn't good. This just was not good. And yes, they also are featured as characters because you have Sophia, who plays Catherine. She's been in stuff like The Good Witch. Remember The Good Witch when Catherine Bell from Jag decided to be in a whole bunch of stuff like that? Whatever. Good on getting work. Melanie... she's kind of more of the down-to-earth sister, and there's a little bit of backstory about these sisters. They actually owned Lookty, but they weren't good on reading the fine print when they were going to do some kind of merger thing, and people took over the whole goddamn thing. So now they're trying to kill off these main influencers in stupid competitions. No, really, that's about it. And that's discovered pretty early on. I mean, I'd say, well, maybe actually about halfway through. Where Gaia, played by Ashley Vanderhaan, or however you say it. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. She worked for them and was an intern and was working a whole bunch and decided to create this persona because she wanted to get out of the rat race. Okay. The easiest way, by the way, that the sisters could have pulled all this off was to not include somebody that worked with them, so that right there meant they weren't playing very far ahead. Why were there guys that had, Squid Game, type helmets and everything, like the friend, the friend logo thing that went over their goddamn, that went on their goddamn helmets? It's like if Boy Kills World, they took that idea, but, well, Boy Kills World, check that out. You'll know what the hell I mean. Had the girl from Happy Death Day in it. Again, there are elements of good ideas here, but the execution is absolutely terrible. Also, the house seems to consist of like 6 rooms, so I don't really know how in the world they could manage to stretch the tension out here. And the twists and turns aren't twists and turns. And also, there are some scenes that really just made me bust up laughing because they were so goddamn inept. There was a girl, Ami, who ended up basically, making it clear that she has panic attacks because she's worried about her social media footprint not being something that'll last. She ends up meeting an unfortunate end because she tries to confess, all this bullshit's going on. She gets shot. There's a fitness guy that ends up getting run on a treadmill to death. Oh, yes, and also there's a spiked wall that ends up killing him. And none of this stuff really works. The spiked wall death might have actually been one of the worst things I've seen where I'm like, really? It's like Windows Media Maker did this shit? There are various challenges. We go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just to kill various people off. And, yeah, the one that has the lowest amount of followers basically gets offed. And yeah, from there, basically, Julie ends up sacrificing her son Parker because Parker basically confesses that he didn't want to be an influencer. He wanted to be a soccer player. So yeah, by the way, also, if they leave, they will lose their accounts. You could leave because you can rebuild. Yes, it would suck to have something that you poured your blood, sweat, and tears into nuked, but you could, honest to God, rebuild that pretty good, especially if you are good at what you're doing. There's a guy named Axel with an S there in the middle because why the fuck not? There's a sex scene between him and Julie. Whatever, I don't care how you guys get down. And yeah, Gaia worked for them and remembered the sister, and the sister that had this facial reconstruction surgery that was shown in the beginning credits. It was, I think, where like most of the budget went, just showing surgery videos. This whole plot is just stupid and not funny. Like, none of the comedy hits at all. People get offed. And it turns out Parker's actually not dead. Like, there's this stuff between, between Julie and Peach. They come down to the very end and everything, and that's really about your lot there. They have to make apology videos, and Peach will not apologize for being who he is, being LGBTQ, and if you have a problem with LGBTQ people, by the way, fuck the hell off. You don't belong in this goddamn world because you need to learn to accept people as they are. Take your head out of the bigotry book and out of being a bigot and actually accept people for who they are. He won't apologize for who he is because he's had to conform, and he is who he is. He's not saying he's perfect, but he is who he is. Julie then basically says, well, I use my son and everything, all this stuff, and nobody, is more sympathetic, than a crying mother. But it turns out they've been broadcast live. She tries to apologize. She gets offed. And Peach is free to do what he wants, except he's not. Oh, yes, and also there's this arguing among the sisters because Sophia had the facial reconstructive surgery after Shaolin basically beat a couple security guards in the face, or beat them with an office chair, but that hit Sophia in the face. That's why she's got the Jennifer Coolidge, facial reconstructive stuff from, I want to say, the American Pie movies. I think it was one of the movies that she was in. I've gone blank. Whole point is, comes down to Peach and Parker. Parker has been alive this whole time. And they start to gas Parker. It was going to be painless. And then Peach is like, nope, I'm going to save him. Then they're going to take Peach to a pool and electrify it. And And then they show this thing on the screen, the NDA that they signed. You always need to read the terms and conditions, because Peach has been basically, he signed over his whole goddamn thing. Well, then it turned out actually no, Gaia was the one that signed the Peach symbol, and he was here against his will. So for whatever reason, Sophia freaks out, no, this was supposed to be something where we killed people that were aware of the whole thing, and we took advantage of them because we got screwed out of our deal. And Charlotte's like, you idiot, we've already gone this far, let's just kill them. Well, then they end up in the pool. Parker, who always wanted to be a soccer player, kicks the ball and knocks them both in the pool. Peach gets away. There's a gun involved where these two, basically friend ninjas get shot. Where were the others? There were like 18 others in this house. Or maybe I was just hallucinating. Maybe I was hallucinating a better movie than this. And then the women get fried. And then Peach and Parker are leaving. Parker's going to go stay with his aunt, who doesn't even have Wi-Fi, doesn't even have dial-up at the house. That sounds like a perfect place for a 10-year-old. And then there's a box left. The box is left with Julie's head in it. Okay. Who put the box there? You know what? Never mind. Doesn't matter who put the box there. But it seems like Peach is going to take that and maybe continue to build his social media clout and following. Oh, yes, and also it turns out that Shaolin's alive, and that means that they might want to do a sequel. No, this movie deserves to be unfollowed and, quite frankly, banned from polite society. I wish nothing but the best for everybody involved in this, but God, this is bullshit. F, it gets an F. Agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.